Hi, this is Carlin Trammel, and I am the writer, director, and executive producer of David Von Fang in Taste Like Chicken.
Hi, and I'm Tim Taylor, and I am the one of the producers and general sidekick of Carlin, and I'm here to make his talk more interesting.
That's right. One of the things I do want to say about producer is how we use the title in this movie, and I'm not always clear about what a producer does in actual movies, but in this movie, producer pretty much meant guy or girl who was always there or did lots of stuff. So as producer, you did sound recording, you did location scouting, you did story editing, so you did quite a bit.
Stunt driving, don't forget stunt driving.
You did quite a bit yourself. You actually are in the movie as an extra.
Yeah, but I just do it for the fun of it.
I'll just talk real quickly about David Von Fang, the character here, created by Bill Wiest, and he created a set of characters named the Von Fang Brothers for comic books, and he had a couple of comic books that came out in the mid-90s, and then he and I hooked up and tried to bring them back, and I don't think we were very successful, but along the way I wrote an 8-page story featuring just one of the brothers, David Von Fang, and here actually appropriate that mentions it at the credits. And that story has finally been published, but it's in a very rare form. And I decided to go ahead and take the story and adapt it for this short movie. And here it is. And we're coming up on the first person we see is David Von Fang, played by Michael Olsey.
Looking very serious, as he should be.
Very serious.
Yeah.
Or very unemotional.
Unemotional, just out there.
And this was shot at the Cowboy Monkey, located in Champaign, Illinois, and this was all shot. The opening scene and the closing scene where they're at the restaurant.
Who is that guy right there?
That guy is one of the worst actors on the face of the planet.
He was a General Payne, wasn't he?
But he's a handsome fella.
Loud, obnoxious.
But I was saying something about the restaurant. Oh, we had 9 pages of script. We had to shoot it in 3 hours.
Yeah.
And the rain was threatening to come in and ruin it all.
And it only ever really sprinkled, but it wasn't too bad.
It wasn't too bad.
By the way, the nice graphics there.
I call those my Doctor Who effects.
Yeah.
Thanks for bringing that up.
You're welcome.
Because I think they're just cheesy enough to make it onto an old episode of Doctor Who.
Which I love watching every Saturday night.
Yeah, sorry about that. I guess I kind of
now this actress Donna, Donna the waitress, is played by Christina Seymour, and every member of the cast is either somebody I go to church with, or work with, or had worked with in the past.
Yeah.
And I currently work with Christina, and she sits right behind me. And when we had our little fight, I think that was a dream come true for her.
The fight,
she actually finally got to yell at me.
Oh, okay. Oh, because of this. All right. Usually she's really a very nice kind of person.
She is a very nice person.
As are most people in this film.
Yes.
So it was pretty easy getting along with cast members.
It was. Everyone did a great job, and especially considering they weren't getting paid.
Yeah, that's the plus. When do I get paid, by the way?
We'll see how well the movie does, Tim.
Considering I haven't put anything into it as money-wise.
One thing I want to point out here is hopefully you've seen the movie already, so I'm not ruining anything, but most of this movie is a daydream, and you'll note that when the daydream starts, you'll hear the same sound that is used when David Von Fang uses his powers. And at the end of the daydream, that same sound is used to signify the end of the daydream.
Okay.
And it's a bit of a foreshadowing that I decided to put in there.
Yeah.
And this is Anna Fitzsimmons, who plays the other waitress, and as she walks away, the daydream will begin.
Was she actually Anna Fitzsimmons at this time?
Yes, she was.
Okay. All right.
There it is. There was that sound.
Yeah.
One of the things we had found in the past with a couple little things we've done video-wise is sound. Sound is not my forte.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of fun.
And so there are some of those issues throughout the movie, but so it goes.
When you notice in the credits, Carlin put me and did you put Dave?
No, Dave didn't do any sound recording, but you, me, and a guy named Pat Sandberg. Pat did some Foley art.
Yeah. And so you're just sort of shifting all the sound.
We used so many different kinds of recording devices.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But what I wanted to get to about that was this was originally written in such a way that the narration would carry the story. And
Right,
the narration
right.
was supposed to circumvent our sound issues.
A lot
and
of the sound
I think
outside.
it just complicated it more.
Yeah, a lot of the sound outside was just supposed to be sort of ambient and trying to pick up the speech.
Yes,
in the background. And
all of the ambient noise, well, not all of it. The restaurant ambient noise was actually recorded on location, but
yeah.
pretty much everything else was re-recorded.
You should note here that in this scene, to actually get that footage going across by the boats, Carlin and Paul were on a little paddle boat,
Yes.
keeping time with them in the canoe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that was some of the first shots. This
Now
day
this
is all
this
from
really
the
good.
first.
Did you add this sound here for the waterfall, or was that
Yes, I
the
pulled
original?
that sound. From,
Okay.
no, that was the original sound.
It really,
Yeah.
yeah, it was picked up good.
This was a reshoot because the first watching movie scene did not work.
Yeah.
What they're watching though is one of our original productions called The Puppet and the Preacher.
Were they actually watching it, or did you? I thought you.
Well, okay, they're not actually watching it, but you hear in the
The
background.
idea, yeah.
And the.
Yeah.
I want to talk
that
about
was good
this
artwork.
scene. I want to talk about this scene because a lot of people ask me about this. Why the pants?
Yeah.
They
I
ask
like
about
the pants.
The
yeah.
pants, and they ask about the book. And what I'm getting at here is David Von Feng does not know anything about Amy,
Right.
because it's all a daydream.
Right.
What he sees, what he knows about her is only on the outside. He does not know her inside.
Right.
Her package, her present to him, represents that. She has a very pretty, vibrant outside wrapping bag. But on the inside, she gives him just boring pants because he
Right.
doesn't know really what she would give him.
Right.
Contrasted to that, he has a non-wrapped plain brown box, which represents who he is on the outside.
Yeah, I was noticing that when we just had watched through this again. I just noticed how plain it was and just how. And that makes a lot more sense now that you explain it too.
And on the inside of the box is his core values, the Book of the Samurai.
Have you read that book, by the way?
No.
I've been reading bits out of it. You know, it's interesting if you want to be a samurai.
Well, we'll have a training video on the DVD, How to Be a Samurai, hosted by Scott Raguth.
Yeah.
And Scott Raguth, his debut appearance in the movie right here, has a picture of him.
Yeah, make sure you watch the gag reel.
And you look at this, he is actually one of the nicest guys in the world, but he plays a mean man.
Yeah. He pulls it off pretty well. I mean, he could be intimidating, especially the first time you see him coming up in the grocery store.
That's right.
But
interesting about that scene, and we'll get to that, but he's actually wearing his, at the time, his fiancée, but now his wife's leather jacket. But that doesn't matter.
He's real manly man there.
A little movie magic for you.
Yeah. Oh,
there.
No. You know, Scott, you could probably beat me up. So no.
This was a closed-down grocery store. Had been defunct for a year or two.
Yes.
Not been in operation.
And this store is actually in Savoy, and you will see here shortly that the inside is Rantoul, only separated about 25, 30 miles.
Yeah, well, it was a dimensional portal he actually walks through.
And Mr. Needy finds the same portal.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. There he is. There. All right.
Boo hiss. You can see Rantoul IGA sign.
You know, Scott, that is a nice jacket, by the way. Tell your wife she's got good taste.
No, I think it's a great jacket. And actually, at the wedding...
I would like that jacket.
At their wedding, when I first met her, that was the first thing I said was, "Oh, thanks, by the way, for letting us use your jacket."
Okay.
In the movie.
Yeah. It was nice. You don't have a credit for that?
No, I don't. Not especially.
There's the lovely Miss Trammel walking by.
My wife walking by in the background. And
there's me.
There's Tim.
Oh, wait, I wasn't going to talk about me. I'm sorry.
Tim in the stroller.
You'll notice that 12-pack of Pepsi was moving around pretty easily.
Yeah, you're not the only one. You'll come up as a guy named Jason Gredencourt, who is the first guy that Michael talks to, and he seems a little light there.
You're saying he's a little light?
No, well, the box seems a little light there.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
He just sort of swings it around too easily there.
And there's the Habibs, the generous benefactor of the cameraman.
Pretty much, yeah. Without them, this movie would not have been made.
Same with Puppet and the Preacher.
Yes. And that was Michael's actual wallet.
Yeah.
Find it odd that I'm perfectly calm.
Who did the painting for the signs there?
Janae, my wife, Janae, one of the producers.
Mm-hmm.
She did the painting. And of course, boneless chicken breast. I think she chose chicken because it's got to be taste like chicken.
Yeah.
But I think she just pulled out specials from an actual grocery store and painted them up on.
Quick
butcher
note.
paper.
Here's my stunt driving coming up here real quick. The only stunt driving you'll see. The one thing I was interested in is how, like, when you, as far as that sign.
Yes, this is with Photoshop, and it's actually Grettencord Grocery, named after my friend Jason Grettencord, whom you saw earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And in the comic book, he goes to Grettencord Grocery, and so I put in that sign, and I used Photoshop and Premiere and put it in, and it's very obvious that it's a special effect, but that's all right.
Especially after the Rantoul IGA, but anyhow.
The exterior was the Champaign City building. Used to be the police department in that building, but now it's just the city building.
It was
the inside here is Precision Graphics, where I currently work.
Thank you, Precision Graphics.
That's right. And this is Jeff Melander's office, and he had a very spacious office. And we decided to shoot there because it was so large that we could fit our crew in there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
if you could see us in this scene, we were actually like sitting behind the couch that Michael's at. We're sort of strewn all over the place.
We are strewn all over the place.
Ladders and cords and.
I had intended to shoot this all from one angle so that we could kind of just camp out, but then I kept deciding to shoot other angles, and we kept having to move around. It was quite an ordeal.
Yeah, wasn't this about one of the first scenes that we did?
This was the first major scene we did. We had shot some of the montage sequence.
Right.
But this was the first time we actually went in and shot a scene.
And had the full crew. Like, if you notice that door, we were all just like right outside the edge of that door there.
There was lots of us there because I think Stephanie was there to see how it was going. And
is it Casey? No.
Colby was there because we shot the next scene we shot right after we shot this scene. So
Colby was out there watching too. It was really nice. That building is a nice building. It really gives you a feeling of a good police station. Even this little interrogation room.
Even this very elaborate interrogation room that would never have this close of an access to outside, I don't think.
It
at least is plain enough that you can say, all right, that it's reasonable that someone will be interrogated there.
Yeah, maybe just to see the cars going by outside, it's just to tease them. You can't get out. You're looking through plate glass window there.
Bulletproof, man. It's all bulletproof windows.
About 5 layers. Okay. This is. You'll notice you can't really tell by the way you look at it, but we set up the little thing there behind Michael so that we can get more light.
It's an old movie screen.
Yeah, to be able to see Colby and to see his reaction, which
I think it worked out all right, but we had some problems getting exactly what I wanted.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously when you're doing this kind of thing, it is a lot of trial and error, but it's fun trying to figure out what can we do. Yeah,
and really, the other problem is we're on a time budget too. We have a lot of this was shot in a way that we have to go in, we have to get our shots, and we have to get out for any number of reasons. The grocery store was like that because I didn't really know who to go ask for permission, so we just went in, we got our shots, and got out.
Yeah.
And other things were like that too, and the Cowboy Monkey, the restaurant scene was like that. We did have permission, but they were going to open in 3 hours or 4 hours after we started shooting, so we had a finite amount of time, and that was the only chance we had.
And we won't mention the unnamed locations of the tunnels.
That's right.
Probably the only place we had real carte blanche was probably the
fight scene.
The fight scene.
Yeah, and we were actually able to. I think it shows there too that there's a lot more. When we get to the fight scene, you'll see a lot more angles and a lot more content. Where here, everything I had to go in, I had to storyboard everything out because I wanted to be able to get in, get out, get our shots, and get out. And like even here, we had permission to use this location, but people have lives, and I'm not paying these guys to come in and do this. Yeah. And so I want to respect their time, and So if I say we're going to start at 7 and we're going to end at 10 or 11, then I want to end at 10 or 11.
Yeah, yeah.
And the artistic side of me is like, no, we must get better shots.
Keep going and keep trying.
The other side of me is saying, no, we must let them go home and we must
got to be a good
get
manager.
this done.
Yeah.
And so that's...
which is probably, you know, not having that experience, obviously, with Hollywood, I'm sure that's a pretty common thing even for big budgets. And
I think that's the difference between, a director and a producer in some ways.
Well, the producers got the money in it, and they're the ones that have to...
I mean, it's a generalization, but...
Yeah.
But I think as a director, you have to be a good manager as well.
Yeah.
And otherwise, things start falling apart.
Mm-hmm.
But this tunnel sequence is my favorite sequence of the entire movie, and that's mainly because I just thoroughly enjoyed editing the sequence and putting together 2 or 3 different locations and making it look as though he is just in this complex network of tunnels.
Even using one location, if you looked at it, the whole continuity, just how that one location you make look like 4 or 5 different spots just within this one hallway.
Yes.
I mean, it's amazing. And what I really like is the way you put it together, just how the farther he goes in, a little bit more decrepit looking that it gets.
And I should mention at this point also is what also makes this scene is the music. This music, the score is outstanding. It's by a guy named Steve Ressler, and even if I never do anything like this again, I certainly hope that Steve is able to find some work doing something like this again, because it's outstanding.
Well, I remember the first time you let me listen to it,
yes,
and not in sync, obviously, with the movie, just listening to the music by itself, and it just seemed like it captured the right emotions.
Oh, yeah. Which is ironic, considering it's a movie about a guy with no emotions.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that's why the music is so important in this movie. Is it has to be emotional, even though Michael is not.
Yeah, because I mean, you would lose it and it would be flat. I mean, it's Michael did a good job of keeping that same sort of flat tone, even when he's doing the voiceover.
Right. And that's part of who Michael is. Although, if you watch the gag reel, you'll see the other part of who Michael is.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I love about the gag reel, is that you see that he is more than just what he is in this movie.
Just so you know, we're not going to explain the cast iron bathtub.
No. About the fight scene, the sound effects I used here, I initially really wanted to avoid the Hollywood punch sound. And after months of not being able to get anything else to work, I broke down and I used the Hollywood punch sound, because I think that because it's such a common thing now. People are just trained to not react to a punch without it.
Just the sound of a punch being hit into a flour bag or something. Yeah. I tell you what, these guys really did a good job.
They did great.
Coordinating it.
Great.
I mean, obviously, like if you would have seen all the takes, Michael began to anticipate more and more of the punches, but when they got into the flow of it.
But yeah, and that's why I kept it choppy. I wanted to keep this real choppy for a couple reasons, just to keep that anticipation out of it, so that you didn't see that, and to keep the excitement up.
Well, but that choppiness also adds to the angle, and also adds to the I mean, you got your different angles, but it also adds to the tenseness of the situation, because you can't keep focused on what's happening because it happens so quickly. Now,
if I had to do all over again, the whole movie, this is probably, and I can only change one thing.
What's that?
This is the scene. This is the scene I would change, and all I would do is I would light this differently.
Okay.
But other than that, and the lighting is fine. I wish I had lit the background a bit more than I did here.
Yeah.
But again, we had to get in and get out.
Yeah, we're another unnamed location, but we're sitting out there with a generator that you can't hear, and
we were at a park. We were at Busey Woods.
Yeah, and it was one of those things that the lights were so bright that anytime anybody would come around that corner on the road, they would slow down and stop and look, and so we're just sort of waiting for an accident to happen to you.
Yeah, it would have been our fault.
Yeah.
But I really think they both did a great job here, portraying the Stephanie portraying the torn emotion, and Michael saying all this, but yet not really displaying much of emotion at all.
I like this scene about to come up, though. When you're talking about the lighting, except for her pants, obviously, which you'll see just within a matter of a few steps, as she walks out of his life, she literally disappears. Yeah. And that's just one of those things.
That's straight out of the kiss is straight out of the comic story, and I haven't talked about the comic story a lot, but one of the things about the comic story is the initial script was more faithful to that comic story, and it incorporated an evil scientist and a lackey, and in a smaller role for Sergeant Adams, and Dudley Warfel's character was much different, and I think this is a better story than the comic.
Yeah, a large part of it came down just to it was going to be really difficult on a no-budget film to be able to come up with a mad scientist lab.
Now this transition here,
and
I want to throw this on the DVD at some point. It's just all in one take, and this we actually shot this first, and I say cut, and Stephanie gets up and walks out of the shot, and clouds come over, and I say action, and you get the shot that comes right before
at the very beginning, where it's darker.
It's like two completely different days, and it works great.
I liked how you cut that. I mean, it just how they get it to flow. It didn't seem choppy at all, or.
That's right. And also, you'll note when it fades is that again you hear the power sound effect signaling the end of the daydream.
Yeah. Did you see the rabbit in the soup, by the way?
No.
Must have been chicken then.
Well, it tastes like chicken.
Oh. Sorry for that.
That's just an old, it was like a can of Campbell's soup or something. Just dumped into a bowl.
Yeah. And I guess she'll never know that it tastes like, or what rabbit tastes like, I guess. Yeah.
I guess you don't know what it tastes like, except that it tastes like chicken.
Okay.
I don't know.
You never had rabbit?
I don't think I have, actually.
Okay. And here comes the credits where you'll find Carlin's name almost everywhere, but it is his film, so it's.
That's true. That's true. But I do want to point out how many people did help me, and I am very appreciative of all the help. All the extras and all the main cast members, of course. But but even the extras who are listed here. Is a thanks to them for coming out and taking an hour or two to go to the grocery store, or taking 3 hours to sit out in the hot sun and eat fried chicken and be at the restaurant. And but you see my name, you see Paul's name, you see your name and Dave's name a lot. But there are other names too, and everybody. I'm very appreciative to everybody coming together on this project.
Yeah, it's amazing just how I think when you look at a major movie, you just don't have a sense of all the people that are involved, and just in this one small film, I mean, the amount of people, just even the extras.
Yeah,
I mean, you think of all the big movies where the extras aren't even.
Yeah, they're not even listed.
Yeah,
but I wanted to list them here.
Yeah. Because I mean, it just being able to see what people do and pull together, and just to feel like a part of it, and I think that's what's fun is just when you're even making a film on this size, just the joy of coming together and finding out what it's like to be behind the scenes, or what does it take to put something together,
or working together on a common project that. Everyone at the end of the project, everyone will get a copy of this, and they'll be able to look back in 10 years and say, "Oh yeah, I remember having a great time putting that together." And I think that's a lot of it too, is just the sheer joy of it.
Yeah.
And I think we had, there were days or times we weren't getting along when we got together, but in general, we always had a great time, and it was a blast. And
it definitely takes a lot, even for whether it's something big or small. I mean, just being able to pull it together.
And I do want to point out, I don't think I've mentioned Becca Cade and Sammy Roan and the songs that they've performed in here.
Excellent songs.
They did a great job, and they've got a CD coming out called Love Is from Hobo Fence Records, and it should be coming out real soon. And so I encourage everybody to check that out.
Yeah, if you like that music, it's really good. And the songs you picked obviously were really appropriate to the emotion of the film.
Yeah, and I like them just on their own. I think I would like, even if I didn't have anything to do with these. If I had anything to do with this movie, I would have liked the music as it was.
They have a really great sound. Yeah. I like it too. All the thanks to everybody.
Yep. All those people without whom it would have been a much more difficult movie to make than it was. And that's it, I think.
So, have you tried a Blue Moon at the Cowboy Monkey?
I have not tried a Blue Moon at the Cowboy Monkey, and Paul Habib, the 16-year-old kid, has not either. So,
all right.
Don't worry.
Take care.
See ya.
Enjoy.